Hello there. I didn't see you. Well, welcome. As you know, my name is Jeff Yenzer, board secretary here at StarSpace46, and I'm coming to you with another episode of StarSpace Chats, where we meet with members of our community, either StarSpace or at large in Oklahoma, and we talk about where they've been and what they're doing and really how this community can help them. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce a longtime, and when I say long time, I mean long time, member of the Oklahoma co-working community, Mr. Garron Rose.
Hello.
Garron, hello. Hey, we're not supposed to have the same look all the time.
Right.
You were supposed to wear the hat. I took
I
off
was supposed to wear, wait, got to poke that way. And I have the comic books.
Hey, I've got other comic books, okay? All right. Yes, we are in the same space here at StarSpace46, but we are, social distancing. I have a glass wall between the two.
Same but different, yes.
Yeah, we are same but different. Garron, are you doing all right today?
Doing fantastic today, actually.
Awesome.
How about you?
It's nice weather. There's no ice storm this time around. The last episode, we were dealing with the aftermath of an ice storm. So at least that's not a deal anymore. So we can kind of enjoy the last little throes of good weather before
Right. Yes. Now we're in Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping down the plains.
Oh my God. And we're under fire warning. And it's not because we have so many trees like California where it's wildfires throughout a forest like Colorado. No, it's just grass.
Just grass and wind. Grass and wind.
And it will blow on things that catch fire. Yeah.
Right.
Gotta love it here. Gotta love it. Speaking of being here, man, like you have not only been, here at StarSpace for so long, but I want to talk about what I alluded to, which is, the path of Garron Rose up to now. Right now, you're with Astound Agency, which is your own baby. I want to know what brought you to this day.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I started co-working or being involved in that. I was working for Francis Tuttle as their communications guy. Web communications, and that kind of tipped me off to the greater technology community. And so I started kind of doing some meetups, and some of them were at the fresh new OKC Cocoa back in the day. And I was like, what is this? This is a place where people can gather and talk and compare notes about, and I keep being drawn back into the entrepreneurial. I don't know if it's masochism or what it is, but just keep starting my own businesses and, getting them off the ground and crashing them and burning them and starting again.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's fun to me somehow. Yeah. So I started there a little bit, and then back with the 404. Shortly after that started, that's where I met Tommy, and just a great group of folks showing up every day, getting work. I had kids at home. I was working out of the house. I was like, this isn't working, so I need to go somewhere. And I got tired of the coffee shops that breaks down at some point, for sure. You just go home at the end of the day feeling like you've been, watching a kindergarten class or something like that. Just that same level of anxious vibe,
Oh, I remember. Mine was a tea shop. I had a tea shop out in Yukon, and I was there every day.
Yeah.
Always there. The staff knew me, loved me, but they had Wi-Fi and I could work by myself. But every time they had like a bell on their door. So every time someone walked in, it broke my rhythm.
Yeah,
you have to imagine, that's at least a few times every 15 minutes that your rhythm.
Yeah, and you're on the call with the client or something like that, and you have a baby crying in the background, and what do you do? Yeah, so it was amazing when I intersected with the 404 and the folks and what they were doing, and it was absolutely a passion project for them, and wanting to be a part of breathing life into Oklahoma City. And, it was this vision. We've seen this in other better or other cooler places, whatever. We can do this here, and starting that. And it was just phenomenal for me. So I had, while I was there, I ended up going to work for an agency that was based in Tulsa, and building websites for companies. And it was my primary gig, but we ended up growing and expanding and hiring some people and getting more slots at the 404. And but just was a tremendous opportunity. I have relationships with people that have moved other states that we still talk all the time, just out of that community of, even though we were doing different things, we were doing stuff and exploring stuff and learning stuff together.
Right.
Which, how cool is that?
And that's really where you start to learn and grow, is when you're in those rooms with other people. And that's what I try to convey to people that are working remote by themselves at home, things like that, is it's that collaboration that really drives your own professionalism and your own career forward when you're trying to be a freelancer or an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And a lot of the times, we're not on the same teams per se, but it's like the yell across the room, hey, what do you think about this? Or this is what I got going on. Have you ran into that? And whatever it is, I'm access to, I'm not really a programmer. I do, front end stuff and done that over the years or whatever, but not really deep in that. And so I'm, pulling my hair out in, command line or something like that. But I have guys right, 15 feet away or whatever that live in the space, and it's too late for my hair, but I can get the problem solved.
Right. And it's something that you would bang your head against the wall for an hour, 2 hours, trying to figure out that
17 hours
looks at it and they're like, that's what you need to do.
Right, exactly. Here, let me help, and done.
Yeah. Or the value of having like lay people that I am often that person because I don't do a lot of the UI UX sort of thing. So they'll bring me in and just have me look at something that's like, you're like, if an idiot were to use this, how's it work? I'm like, oh, I am that idiot.
Yes, just pretend with me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm going to pretend. I'm going to dump myself down.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just so valuable. And for me, that's been the hardest part of just being solopreneur or whatever, remote team even, is that collaboration component that's the fun part for me, really, and to be able to have that bounce and ultimately I know that my product is going to be better if I can get another set of eyes and another vantage point and another viewpoint. Sure. It's just, so it's been really beneficial from that standpoint.
Well, that's good. I'm happy that across all of those, that breadth of time that you've been able to iterate and really, really grow what that is to where you are right now.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And it's definitely been a fun journey or an interesting journey. I worked with that agency, started that up, and there was just a direction. He's going this way. I don't want to go that way. Let's maybe not do that anymore, which is great.
Sure.
And then kind of I was stayed in the co-working space and had an opportunity. Another agency that I had done some work for out in California was like, hey, we'd really like you to do this for us. And so I was like, well, okay, let's give it a go. And at that point, started kind of an Oklahoma City office and had an office space blocked out and started bringing in people, hiring in teams and growing in that regard. And it's just a lot of fun. And it's always been a place where, even if it's for nothing but the, having the conference room capabilities, and to meet a client and not have to meet them at the Starbucks or whatever, right. But to have a professional place to collaborate and, whiteboard and all that stuff is just, that alone is worth it. But yeah, this is just completely the pitch for StarSpace, but
hey, no, I'm not going to stop you. Keep going. Keep going. Give it to me.
We can do that. So yeah, it's been just fantastic for me. I've loved it. So as far as fast forward, so that agency, again, it was one of those, hey, well, this is going in a solid direction, but it's not really my direction.
Sure.
And I ended up pivoting more into software development at that point, which was an interesting endeavor for a year and a half or whatever. Learned a lot of fun stuff, but in that regard, or in that time frame, man, this just staying in this place at that point, the community here, because we tend to be a very developer type centric, in the space, very technology, the wisdom and the relationships that came out of that were just absolutely invaluable to me in that regard. And one of the things, as far as my trajectory, I learned a lot of stuff in there, but I did also learn that maybe the deep development, big project development stuff wasn't where I want to live all the time. Because I find myself really being drawn to story, really being drawn to helping organizations with their narrative, tell their story well. And really in that branding space, I've always been in that. But and websites are a great avenue, videos are a great avenue for the storytelling, and even more so today, that more and more organizations we've got to get that buttoned up. And so it's an interesting period of time for business across the board, but there's definitely a thrust towards, okay, this has been a side thing. This has been the stepchild, their online presence and how they're communicating, how they're connecting to people has been kind of an afterthought. And now it's less so that when you can't really go to the brick and mortar type of a thing, in this interesting 2020 that we're in. And so that's been, I have been, continued to come up here, obviously socially distanced and all of that, and being smart with that. But I've continued to do this, still have small children at the house. So that's,
Hey.
that's a fundamental thing, And I think even if I didn't, there's something magical about getting out and going to the office, as far as this is what we're doing now, and not, oh, shiny object, do I need to fix that, or I need to clean that, or I need to whatever,
Yeah.
So,
the term is the estate change, and it's the estate change you need from what could take you to 3 a.m, because it's home, it's working, it's all those things, it's the distractions, having to do all those sorts of just piddly sort of
minutia,
exactly. And that estate change of moving from your home to an office says, all right, I'm going to show up, I'm going to get work done, and then I'm going to go. And it also allows you the ability to leave work at work, which we freelancers and entrepreneurs are notorious for not doing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And it's still a challenge, when you're passionate about what you're doing, when you're, but it's critical. I mean, it's really important. And it helps. I'm leaving work now.
I'm done. I'm packing it up. I try not to take my computer out when I get home. I change everything completely. And it's very, the mental health benefits of a co-working space are something that we don't always go into, but I experienced it, and it sounds like you have as well.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. And it's a very big deal. And because you want to be able, when you're when you're working, when you're motivated to work, like as an entrepreneur, you're motivated on the results, and it's not show up and punch the time clock. It's, I've got stuff to get done. You want to be effective in that time.
Correct.
You don't want, you're not just showing up and let's go hang out and, whatever the stuff that happens at work. It's like, no, I actually need to get work done. And so it really helps with, I'm here, I'm focused, let's get it done.
And it really takes down that commute stress, because it's not like you're having to make it to a time clock. It's like, no, I need to go get some stuff done. I
Right.
know you're one of those evening warriors, kind of like me sometimes, where we're the only people here in the space, and
Right. Yep.
6:30, and I'm avoiding traffic going back to the
Exactly.
suburbs.
Yeah.
Here comes Garrett.
Right. For sure. Yep. Yep. That's
Yeah.
it. So I'm in a really unique time of growth with business. I'm, thankful for that, but it's just been really, um, that, you know, weirdly, but 2020 has been really good from that standpoint for me. I'm super thankful. Um, could be not quite easily for a lot. It's not.
It's adaptability.
Right.
I mean,
It
you're
very much
adapting
so.
to a changing world, and I think that entrepreneurs are able to do that because we don't have to write this, battleship. It's
Right.
just this little dinghy.
Exactly. Let's
Anybody
pivot
can
again.
pivot a fishing boat when it's
Right.
one person that's just fishing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little trolling motor, and we're
Oh, yeah.
good. Um,
You can grab an oar if you have to and just
right.
throw some things to the side. You're fine.
Exactly.
You'll get back to shore.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it's been really neat and good in that regard, and I'm I'm actually again at a growth mode of being able to add more to the team, and just
Yeah.
see where that goes, and
Okay.
it's
Well,
it's kind of fun.
that's going to lead into my last question for everybody is just like, how can the Starspace 46 community and the co-working community at large, especially here in Oklahoma City, help Astound Agency? What's your next steps?
Right. Well, that's a great question, and I appreciate you asking. Um, there's been actually, just being a part of the community has been super beneficial. The relationship, because everything is relationships,
Right.
and good or bad, it's
Uh-huh.
all in that. So it's been a great place to keep showing up and keep building relationships. Having those little conversations that take place has led to a lot of work, for me. Or this person connects with that person, connects with this person, and they hear about you, and then you have another account. And I mean, that's awesome. I love that. And So I actually am seeing, so from that regard, there's just, I, I've been able to position myself kind of as a boutique agency,
Mhm.
um, where I work on projects I want to work on.
Right.
I get to work with people that I want to work with, and that's kind of cool. I like that a
Uh-huh.
lot. I mean, and that's how it should be, I feel like, anyway. But we all have been in the hustle and the scrap, and I'll just take it. But I guess I've been around enough. I'm not a spring chicken, been around enough to know that taking those jobs where you're like, I don't know if I should take the job,
Right.
um, usually doesn't end well.
It doesn't. No, there's always that moment as a freelancer where you think back on these horrible clients. You say, I saw all the red flags.
I knew.
It truly is. Like, I knew that person was bad for me.
Right. Yeah. It's
But
like
yeah,
the
here
one
I am.
where all your friends are like, don't date her,
Right.
You're like, no, she's awesome,
No, this person's going to be great. Don't worry. They're not as crazy as they seem on Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that.
Yeah. I've had those clients.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
have those clients. But so that's fantastic, and I love that.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's been like a really unique, like I mentioned, I love the story component. One of the things that I've started to be able to do more is, I love the brand. I love that brand communications. I always found myself meddling a little bit with, well, if we just fix this in your process, or if we just fix this in, there's an incongruity with what you're saying here and presenting here, but your culture is this.
Right.
Ask any of your employees or whatever. And I always found myself meddling, which is sometimes works out well.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes, you know that maybe that relationship wasn't for me.
As a person who's paid to meddle, that I completely understand.
Right. And so one of the things that as far as future growth, where I'd love to be more in the space of, is helping organizations with culture. And so that's kind of been, I've had an opportunity to do that. And it's like, well, did you do this? Would you do that? And it's like, well, it is what it is. So, but that's just been a very fun, fascinating journey to be able to influence. It's almost like branding on the inside, as far as making sure and the fun part of branding that I like, and I know we're kind of on time here. The fun part about branding is when somebody has a story that's worth telling, they just don't know how to tell it.
Correct.
That's the clients that I just love, because let's come in here and figure out the best way to tell this that's going to connect to the people that are looking for you, that want, they're like, man, if only we had this.
Right.
And so similarly, internally with organizations, when the culture it's solid, but and I know you deal in the space a lot, but it's like it's solid at this level, but at this level you've got to get super on purpose about that, because this won't get you there, kind of thing. And so I don't know, it's fun. I'm just exploring,
You and I need to sit down and talk some more, because that's that's a thing that I do a lot of, and I would love to see that sort of thing brought into the marketing sort of framework, and with that perspective. So I think there's even conversations you and I should have. So
it sounds like we might do that. Yeah. I know where you work.
Oh no. Garron, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to let you get back to what you're doing, because I know you're hitting your stride usually about this time. So again, I really thank you for joining us, and any way that the StarSpace46 community can help, or you can help them, I think that you have shown that already, and I only look forward to seeing it more out of you. So
you're awesome.
Take care, dude. You're awesome. And again, that was Garron Rose with Astound Agency. So if you're in the local area, feel free, pop a meeting in. You can use one of our conference rooms, sit down and talk with them if it seems like something that you'd want to be a part of, or especially if you're trying to grow your brand or enrich your company culture. So as always, I love these talks. It really allows me to get down nitty gritty with people that are movers and shakers here in the Oklahoma City and Oklahoma community. So this was more of a community spotlight, and we'll probably do some more of these in addition to 501c3s and other sorts of agencies that are in and around our state that are helping and doing things at almost a national level, as we learned last week. But as usual, it has always been a pleasure. Feel free to pop by StarSpace46.com to book a tour if you would like to potentially become a member of our community. Feel free to pop over to Merch46.com if you'd like to buy any sweet swag. We will have probably some new designs going up for the holiday season. Next week is Thanksgiving, so everyone be safe. I understand if you're not spending it with family because you're being responsible. So take care of yourselves, even if that means sitting by yourself and doing a Zoom meeting over turkey. But be well, take care, be excellent to each other till all are one, and we'll talk soon.